An Open Heart by the Dalai Lama. We're reading it together. We're on page 135 in Calm Abiding, right at the top of the page. When meditating on the mind, you must try to remain focused on the present moment. You must prevent recollections of the past experiences from interfering with your reflections. The mind should not be directed back into the past, nor influenced by hopes or fears about the future. And once you prevent such thoughts from interfering with your focus, what is left is the interval between the recollections of the past experience and your anticipations and projections of the future. That's really interesting. I'm just going to point out the words. What is left is the interval between the recollections, because if you can focus on the in between, that is the start of finding your mind. You must work at maintaining your focus on just this vacuum. First of all, it feels like you're looking at it or trying to hold it, or it feels very in between thoughts. But if you just stop there, that's very groovy. Initially, your experience of this interval space is only fleeting. However, as you continue to practice, you become able to prolong it. In doing so, you clear away the thoughts that obstruct the expression of the real nature of the mind. Gradually, pure knowing can shine through. With practice, that interval can get larger and larger until it becomes possible for you to know what consciousness is. It is important to understand that the experience of this mental interval, consciousness emptied of all thought processes, is not some kind of blank mind. It is not what one experiences when in deep dreamless sleep or when one has fainted. We're very trained, think in adverts. Think about what you want. Think about this. Or think about what you did in the past. We're used to this complete tsunami of emotion and thought and thing constantly. And then if you're not doing that, then you feel like you're wasting your time, or that there's something not quite right with you. But actually, it's in that silence, in that quiet, that you can find the nature of your mind, which is an amazing thing, which I feel it's your mind. Everyone should be able to find their own mind. I think it's a real letdown, really, that we're not, guided that way. At the beginning of your meditation, you should say to yourself, I will not allow my mind to be distracted by thoughts of the future, anticipations, hopes or fears. And I will not let my mind stray towards the memories of the past. I will remain focused on this present moment. Once you have cultivated such a will, you take that space between past and future as the object of meditation and simply maintain your awareness of it, free from any conceptual thought processes. So you even the thought, I am watching my mind, that's a conceptual thought. You just try to hold all thoughts, just be. The two levels of mind. Mind has two levels by nature. The first level is the clear experience of knowing just described. The second and ultimate nature of the mind is experiencing with the realization of the absence of this mind's inherent existence. In order to develop single-pointed concentration on the ultimate nature of the mind, you initially take the first level of the mind, the clear experience of knowing, as the focus of meditation, and once that focus is achieved, you then contemplate the mind's lack of inherent existence, solidity. There's lots of little words that you can use for inherent, isn't there? Solid, all of that. Once that focus is achieved, then you contemplate the mind's lack of inherent existence. What then appears to the mind is the actual emptiness or lack of any intrinsic existence of the mind. It's all very wordy, but it's a much more experiential experience, and I'm not like the au fait with the whole, lack of inherent nature of the mind. I haven't really done that very often. I've done the calm sort of non-thought stuff, and I've got very calm and sat in awareness, which was just consciousness, which is flipping amazing, but there is a part of us that still sees this as an experience, as a solid, like a TV screen almost like experience. That is the first step. Then you take this emptiness as your object of concentration. This is a very difficult and challenging form of meditation. It is said that a practitioner of the highest caliber must first cultivate an understanding of emptiness, and then, on the basis of this understanding, use emptiness itself as the object of meditation. However, it is helpful to have some quality of calm abiding to use as a tool in coming to understand emptiness on a deeper level. I don't know, part of my mind really rejects this, like, higher, awesome being. Only the most glowing orb of light of human nature can ever manage to get these realizations, when actually, when you look at it, Dharma is forcing people into humility, kindness. It's the most ordinary person who practices meditation without any bullshit going on in their mind. They are the ones who can get the insights, So I don't like to get caught up in the most exalted, most being, because I just feel like that in itself is a separation between you and these qualities we're trying to achieve. Saying that, though, I guess they're trying to be motivational, maybe, and in that way, I suppose it could be motivational. But then maybe I've just got some kind of phobia of pride. I've the battle doing this, because pride. I worry about pride. Okay. So we're here. 9 stages of calm abiding meditation. I'm feeling really resistant. So 141. Whatever your object of meditation, whether it be the nature of your mind or the image of Buddha, you go through 9 stages in the development of calm abiding. You go through 9 stages. It's amazing Buddhism for this. Someone has sat down and worked out in retrospect that most people experience 9 stages on their way to calm abiding, and they've written it down. Amazing. The first stage. The first stage involves placing the mind on its object of concentration. This stage is called placement, okay? I want to meditate on Buddha, so I will place my mind on the object of Buddha. Pardon me. The object is a word they use a lot. It's literally just like the picture or the feeling. The object is just what you are focused on. It's a very unintuitive word for Westerners, I think. Cheesy Westerners like me that brought up in a towny environment. So yeah. First stage of placement and object of concentration. This stage is called placement. At this stage, you have difficulty remaining concentrated for more than a brief moment and feel that your mental distractions have increased. I think, you know what, if you do sit down and you stop and you try to do meditation and you can't do it for love of the money and your mind is just absolutely soaked in thoughts, then that is brilliant. That is the first stages of realising how fucking mental we are. There's just this onslaught of thoughts constantly. It doesn't need to be there. In fact, you're better off without it. So it's a good sign. So just hang in there. Sometimes forgetting it completely. You spend more time on other thoughts and have to devote great effort to bring your mind back to the object. Well, I've definitely done the first stage. Right, second stage. When you are able to increase the length of time that you remain focused on your chosen object to a few minutes, you have attained the second stage. This stage is called continual placement. Your periods of distraction are still greater than your periods of concentration, but you do experience fleeting moments of focused mental stillness. I think, and you can, yeah, definitely, the whole, you just got to believe, you've got to just kind of, this is where the faith bit of Buddhism is, and it's not so much faith in a being of deity that comes to save you. It's more faith in what they're telling you. So your mind is telling you, but then you've read in this book that they're like, no, keep at it, because if you keep at it, then you'll get this experience of calm abiding or whatever, and your mind is just like, you just think this mind is never going to do that, but you have to have like faith or belief in the words that are being said. Third stage, eventually you become able to immediately catch your mind as it becomes distracted and re-establish its focus. This is the third stage of practice and replacement. The fourth stage. By the fourth stage, called close placement, you have developed mindfulness to the extent that you do not lose focus of your object of concentration. However, this is when you become vulnerable to intervals of intensive laxity. You become vulnerable to intervals of intense laxity and excitement. Oh my God, so you've worked really hard, you got calm and you're focusing, and then you start falling asleep, or you get, I don't really know how, I just fall asleep really. The main antidote is the awareness that you are experiencing them. As you are able to apply the antidotes to more obvious manifestations of laxity and excitement, there is the danger of subtler forms of laxity arising. I was listening to Mingyur Rinpoche the other day, and he helped me realise, oh, I've gone well over, I'm stopping.